So I'm on the train, I'm traveling somewhere, and across the aisle there sits a guy who holds a bottle of mineral water in his hand, and there is a friend sitting next to him, and he has a laptop in front of him, and this person complains a lot about things. He complains about another friend who is not there, about how this other friend, had let him down in the past, and the heat and the dirt in the carriage, and things like that. So he's very discomfortable, is that the word? Anyway, at this point I start to think deeply into the idea that we take things for granted to a radical extent, because it's not just about taking the bottle, the laptop, the seat, the friend, the emotions of the friend, the train, the rails, the buildings for granted, but also the whole range of our experiences. Before I explain this, let me note that we take for granted the pavements under our feet and the shoes on our feet and the doors we touch and the glasses we raise to our mouth and all the products that humanity produced, because they disappear into the function that we carry out in our actions. So they became invisible, or almost transparent to us. That's why we don't really experience our reality. But I think this taking for granted attitude we have goes on many levels of our experience. On a primary level, a sensory level, we have this automatic belief that what we experience on a sensory level is the external world. But of course it's not the case, because it's rather the other way around. It's not the bird that is reflected in me, but it is my mind, or the structure of my mind, that is reflected in the bird, and that's what I'm experiencing. In a sense, I experience my nervous system as it relates to the features of the external world. And this experience happens at an interface between my internal capacities or structures and the external features of the world. But this experience is grounded in those internal capacities. And another level of experience is psychological experience. So when this person talks about his friend, he talks about emotions, and he thinks that the friend sitting next to him has emotions, and he perceives those emotions, he understands those emotions. And people, we believe that we perceive emotions in other people. This is what we take for granted, that we are enmeshed in an atmosphere of emotions and feelings. But similarly to the sensory experience, I think what we perceive is really ourselves, because we understand others to the extent that we understand ourselves, and we are capable of connecting or capable of loving others to the extent that we are at peace with ourselves. I'm sure you all had experience with people who had serious issues with themselves, who didn't like themselves, and they found it hard to connect to other people. And of course, this psychological experience also happens at an interface, but it is also grounded in my internal capacities, mainly. So of course there are others. There is a traffic of emotions around me, but what I perceive is contingent on my capacities. It's contingent on what I bring to the world, to the situations that I'm involved in.